Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel AC Ogun Toye, an infantry officer. Between August 23rd and 29th, the Russian armed forces executed 7 group strikes using precision weapons and unmanned aerial systems, targeting Ukraine's defense infrastructure. High-value strikes destroyed Sapsan missile stockpiles, Neptune missile systems, UAV assembly and launch sites, military-industrial enterprises, airbases, and a critical fuel depot. Command posts and foreign mercenary concentrations were also engaged. Air defense operations neutralized a Su-27 fighter, 18 guided bombs, 9 MRS projectiles, a Neptune long-range missile, and 1,377 Ukrainian UAVs. Additionally, a Ukrainian Navy reconnaissance vessel, the Simferopol, was destroyed near the Danube River using an unmanned boat.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel AC Ogun Toye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogun Toye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Ogun Toye, to begin, could you provide a broad overview of the Russian armed forces' activities during this period?
Yes. Over the past week, our forces executed a series of 7 precision strikes using long-range weapons and strike drones. These were not random bombardments, but carefully coordinated operations designed to degrade Ukraine's long-range strike capability and industrial support. We struck military-industrial facilities, Ukrainian airbases, and storage sites for the Sapsan operational tactical missile. Additionally, we neutralized launch and assembly points for long-range UAVs, a Neptune missile system, and key command posts. Importantly, we also destroyed a major fuel depot that was sustaining frontline Ukrainian brigades. These strikes, taken together, form part of a strategy of deep interdiction, hitting not just troops in contact, but the logistical and industrial arteries that keep them fighting. That combination of frontline attrition and rear area disruption is a cornerstone of operational design in this phase of the conflict.
You mentioned attrition on the front lines. Could you walk us through what happened sector by sector, starting with the northern axis?
Yes. In the north, particularly in the Sumy and Kharkiv regions, our forces inflicted heavy losses on a diverse set of Ukrainian units, mechanized brigades, motorized infantry, airborne assault forces, and even territorial defense brigades. Over the course of the week, we estimate more than 1,190 enemy personnel were neutralized, alongside 22 armored vehicles and 27 artillery pieces, 4 of which were NATO-supplied. Additionally, 46 depots storing fuel, ammunition, and material were destroyed. This reflects not only direct combat engagements, but also a systematic effort to strip Ukrainian formations of their sustainment base.
What about the western axis? I understand there were gains in the Donetsk People's Republic.
Correct. Units of the West Group decisively liberated the settlement of Sredny. In this fight, we faced 2 mechanized and 2 assault brigades, plus territorial defense units. Enemy losses here were particularly heavy, over 1,580 troops, 3 tanks, and 35 armored vehicles, with 15 of those being NATO-produced. Our forces also destroyed 37 electronic warfare stations and 28 ammunition depots. From an operational standpoint, this liberation not only secures ground but also widens the corridor of maneuver for future offensives deeper into Donetsk. It also weakens Ukrainian defensive cohesion by removing one of their keystone settlements anchoring local resistance.
Moving southward, we've heard reports of additional liberated settlements. Can you elaborate?
Yes. In the south, our troops liberated Kleben Byk and Nelipovka, both located in the Donetsk People's Republic. These villages were defended by a mix of mechanized, airmobile, mountain assault, and marine brigades. Ukrainian losses here topped 1,345 personnel, with 16 armored vehicles eliminated. We also destroyed 22 depots and 6 artillery guns. What's critical is that these gains represent a deeper penetration into Ukrainian defensive belts. This weakens their tactical flexibility, especially in shifting reserves, and allows us to exert pressure on their rear lines.
The Central Axis appears to have seen some of the heaviest fighting. Can you break that down for us?
Yes. The center group has been heavily engaged across Donetsk and into the Dnipropetrovsk region. Here, we liberated Filia and Pervomaya. These operations engaged Ukrainian mechanized, infantry, ranger, airborne assault, and marine units, plus elements of the National Guard. Losses for the enemy were substantial, over 2,700 personnel, a German-made Leopard tank, and 34 armored vehicles, 11 of which were NATO origin. From a doctrinal perspective, the center is demonstrating the principle of mass, concentrated, sustained offensive action aimed at breaking multiple layers of defense. These operations not only bleed Ukrainian units, but also force them to redistribute scarce reserves, further diluting their capacity elsewhere.
And on the Eastern Front?
The East Group liberated Zaporozhye and Dnipropetrovsk. Here, 3 mechanized brigades and multiple assault units were degraded, costing Ukraine over 1,570 personnel and 21 armored vehicles. This is significant as it secures operational depth in the east and expands the breadth of our pressure across the entire front, preventing Ukraine from concentrating its defenses in one direction.
Lastly, can you tell us about the DNEPR Group's actions and the naval strike we heard about?
The Dnipro Group engaged coastal defense brigades and mountain assault formations, destroying 42 electronic warfare stations and 23 depots. Losses here were smaller but significant, about 430 personnel and 75 vehicles. Importantly, EW suppression in this sector is laying the groundwork for freedom of action in future operations.
Lastly, can you tell us about the DNEPR Group's actions and the naval strike we heard about?
On the maritime front, an unmanned high-speed boat destroyed the Ukrainian Navy's medium reconnaissance ship Simferopol near the Danube. This marks an expansion of our unmanned systems doctrine into the naval domain. It demonstrates not just tactical success, but also the ability to disrupt Ukrainian naval reconnaissance and riverine operations with relatively low-cost assets.
That's a sweeping overview. Before we close, what are the broader implications of these operations?
Strategically, the week's operations demonstrate the synergy of deep strikes, territorial gains, and attritional warfare. We are eroding Ukraine's long-range strike capabilities, breaking down its defensive belts village by village, and destroying the sustainment backbone of its forces. The cumulative effect, nearly 8,800 enemy casualties across all sectors this week, suggests that Ukraine is under increasing pressure both tactically and logistically. Our emphasis on destroying depots and EW stations is making it progressively harder for them to coordinate and resupply. In the maritime domain, the success against Simferopol hints at how unmanned maritime systems can shift the balance even in riverine environments.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. The combined effect of infrastructure degradation, territorial advances, and Ukrainian attrition will likely reduce Kyiv's operational flexibility in the medium term. Sustained high UAV losses raise questions over Ukraine's capacity to sustain aerial reconnaissance and strike campaigns. Russia's integration of precision fires, EW suppression, and maritime UAS tactics reflects an adaptive operational doctrine with implications for NATO force planning and regional deterrence.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.